I'm back. Mr. Clarke's back. Time to take a look at 15:8, the Americas in the Age of Imperialism. Some of the objectives we'll be taking a look at as we go through today's lesson. We'll be identifying the political problems faced by new Latin American nations. We'll describe Mexico's struggle to achieve stability. We'll explain why Latin America entered a cycle of economic dependence. Look at the influence of the United States on Latin America, including the construction of the Panama Canal. And finally, we'll take a look at how Canada, oh Canada, achieved self-rule. See some of the imageries there. You see Queen Liliuokalani, the Queen of Hawaii. See the map of the Spanish-American War. We see a lot of interesting figures in history. One, how might Latin America have developed after colonialism had Simon Bolivar's dream had come true? If Bolivar's dreams had come true, the separate nations of Latin America would have instead been one united, larger country. So the goal for Bolivar was to see more of the Latin American countries collectively united together, almost like their own United States of Latin America, opposed to what we see with the broken up Latin American countries that we have today. The economy might have been more developed, more rapidly, less dependence on foreign investments. The region may have been stronger, more like the United States. You can even compare it a little bit to the European Union. European countries are independent for a long period of time. And then, around the year 2000 or so, they decided to form the European Union. And as they did, obviously, that became a much more economic and stronger power. Integrate information from some sources. You have the image there of Augustin D. Turbide. Kind of take a look at the way he's presented there. What does the illustration convey? The illustration of the Caudillo shows him looking like a member of the military, a strong man who assembled private armies to resist the central government, so somebody of a powerful stature or figure. 3, why do Latin American nations have a difficult time adopting democracy? Latin American nations had a difficult time adopting democracy because of inequalities that remain in the societies from colonial rule. The political and social structure remained even after adopting constitutions that guaranteed equality. Wealthy landowners and the Catholic Church held most of the land. Political power remained in the hands of the privileged elite. Regionalism played a large role in weakening the new nations, since people did not feel loyalty to a central government. Many rulers were dictators, and rulers changed frequently due to the power struggles and revolts. 4, what were some effects of the United States annexing Texas in 1845? The United States annexed Texas. Mexicans saw this as a declaration of war. After its victory, the United States then took half of all of Mexico's territories in the Mexican-American War. This defeat led to new violence and instability in Mexico. 5, compare Benito Juarez and General Porfirio Diaz. Obviously, they're different rulers, and regardless, they both helped to stabilize Mexico. What did each do to help stabilize the country? What were the advances that each made? Okay, Juarez helped stabilize Mexico by adopting reforms that benefited the oppressed citizens. He revised the Constitution, brought mestizos into politics, and separated church and state. General Porfirio Diaz ruled as a dictator, strengthened the army, the police, and the central government. He made many economic advances. He developed industry, built railroads, and increased mining and foreign trade. 6, which ruler, Benito Juarez or General Porfirio Diaz, would Mexicans who lived in poverty have preferred? Why? Mexicans who lived in poverty would have preferred Juarez as the ruler, since he made reforms that benefited poor and oppressed people. He brought minorities into the government. Under Diaz's rule, many poor people ended up in peonage to wealthy landowners, basically almost like a serf. 7, how did the policies of ruling governments prevent colonies from developing their own economies? Colonial policies prevented colonies from developing their own economies since they had to trade with their rulers. So basically, much like we've seen with the British, so for example, when they went into India, good example of how the British basically destroyed the Indian economy. They took the cotton from India, shipped it to British factories, manufactured into a finished product, shipped it back to India, and forced the Indian people only to purchase from Great Britain. Obviously, that's a high cost factor that's passed on to the conquered or colonies, the colonial people. Similarly, as I see here with B, colonies sent raw materials to the parent country and had to buy manufactured goods from them. They could not trade with other countries. They could also not develop their own independent industries that competed with the parent country. 8. What were some positive effects of foreign investment in Latin America? Some positive effects on foreign investment were that some local business people made profits, countries developed mining and agriculture, and foreign investment in modernizing ports and railways improved transportation and trade. 9. What statement did the Monroe Doctrine make to the rest of the world? First of all, James Monroe. That's the person we're referencing, President of the United States of America, the 5th President of the United States. He issued the Monroe Doctrine. A doctrine is a declaration by a president that establishes American policy towards other countries. He made it clear that Latin American countries, there would be no colonization by additional European powers in the Americas. They're basically cutting off Europe in the 1800s. Great Britain supported the United States in this, and colonies that they had already were fine. They just couldn't have any additional colonies in the Americas. And Great Britain was especially in favor of this is because they didn't have as many colonies in the Americas as did, let's say, the Spanish. 10, how did the United States grow as a result of the war with Mexico? The United States acquired all or parts of California, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, and Colorado. 11, how did building the Panama Canal both help and hurt the United States? Has it been more beneficial or problematic? Well, building the Panama Canal helped the United States by enabling faster movement of ships and their supplies from New York to San Francisco and other ports. It boosted shipping worldwide. On the other hand, it hurt the United States because many people in Latin America felt the United States construction of the canal was an example of imperialism. There was a lot of resentment. So more so than economically, politically, it hurt the United States. It triggered nationalistic and anti-American feelings in much of Latin America. Overall, however, it has been more beneficial because it increased access to goods. Okay, excuse me for the over scroll there. 12, why was Canada able to achieve self-rule faster than many other colonies that were controlled by the British? The British tended to grant English-speaking colonies self-rule more quickly than other colonies. They felt that the people there could govern. The whites they kind of trusted much more than some of the other indigenous people that they might have controlled, while non-whites they believed could not. So obviously this is kind of a ethnocentric kind of view here, they're putting the particular group ahead of another in the minds of the ruling class in Great Britain. British also learned that by giving colonies self-rule, they could maintain a positive relationship. Right, 13 listed major events that led to Canada's independence. In 1791, two provinces were created, Upper Canada and Lower Canada, both of which you can see on the map there. Upper Canada, Lower Canada. During that early 1800 period of time, unrest grew in the colonies. The British put down the unrest, but the Act of Union joins the two Canadas together. Canada controls domestic policies, while Great Britain continued to control foreign trade. Canada becomes a confederate when other colonies join. The British North America Act of 1867 made Canada a dominion. And lastly, a little reflection on the Panama Canal. Image there so you can see it. So we look at how the Panama Canal impacted the Western Hemisphere. Obviously, cut the travel time by about 8,000 miles. So previously, if you wanted to go from New York City to San Francisco, 13,000 miles. Now it's around 5,000 miles, showing 8,000 mile savings. Trades improved because it's cheaper, cost of transportation much less, and it linked faraway places together. That'll conclude our discussion here on the Americas. And until next time, Mr. Clarke is out.